Hey everyone, Tabor here, and today I'll bring you a commentary with Wukong. He's not the newest champion in League of Legends, but I was curious to see if they're going to nerf him or buff him, and what they are going to do with him in the next patches. Okay, so let's get into his abilities. His Q is Crushing Blow, which empowers his next attack with bonus damage, and it also reduces the enemy's armor by 30%. In the beginning, when Wukong was released, it was only 30% of the base armor at all times. So the effect was really useless in the late game. But they changed it, and now it's 30% of the stacked armor at all times. So pretty good skill. His W, Decoy, is probably the reason why people hate playing against Wukong. It allows him to get invisible for 1.5 seconds and leave a clone behind him. The clone will deal AoE damage after 1.5 seconds, and you will get visible then, of course. The damage is small because it stacks with AP, so it's not your main source of damage. But the skill is supposed to help you escape ganks and deaths a lot. And it will. It's nearly as bad as a Kali's W. His E is Nimbus Strike. It's a pretty good gap closer. The damage is nice. And besides hitting your target, it will also hit 2 units that are standing next to your initial target. You will get many kills because of this. It has a fairly low cooldown, and yeah, you will just see it in the clips later on. His R is Cyclone. It's kind of a spin to win thing, like Garen's E. Wukong spins around and deals damage, and also knocks up his targets the first time he hits them with it, and also deals a fairly nice amount of damage to them. When Wukong was released, on many posts in the forums said that it's underpowered, the damage is too small, and all those kind of things. But I think the damage is nice, and also the CC effect is just awesome in team fights. So even if it did small damage, which it doesn't, it would be pretty good too. Okay, so the pros and cons of Wukong. The pros are: he's a monkey, he can deal great burst damage, he can escape most ganks or fights, and is also pretty useful in team fights. Oh, and I completely forgot about his passive, which is Stone Skin. It gives him more armor and more magic resistance to more champions that are standing around him. Enemy champions. In my opinion, this is one of the strongest passives in the game. Cons. Okay. I think Wukong's biggest problem is his lane sustain. He has none. But you can easily itemize for that, so it's not a big point. Beside of that, I don't see real negatives about him, or having him in the team. And now his role in the team. Like I said, he can deal a lot of burst damage very quickly, but what lane should he go on? Especially it's a question for ranked games. I think he's a very good solo laner, and that's what he should do, because jungling is not a good option for him, and on the bottom lane you will probably have a ranged DPS with a supporter, and on the mid lane a caster. So of course Wukong has to go solo top. I start with a Regrowth Pendant and a health or mana pot, depending on what I feel like. I think that's what will solve his biggest problem, the lane sustain. It will allow you to regenerate your health whenever you want to, and still be aggressive. After I farmed a bit, or maybe even got a kill, I would rush for the Mercurys Treads or Ninja Tabi, depending on the enemy team. And here is where you have to decide if you want to go Atmas right away. What I mean by that is Warmogs and Atmas Impaler, or if you want to get a Trinity Force before that. If you get a Trinity Force, it will help you a lot in the early game with Sheen, because it will just increase your burst damage even more. And I think this is the better way, but of course sometimes the game just doesn't go good, you get a bad early game, can't farm, or just don't get any kills. Then I would advise you to just go for the Atmas. It's just a lot cheaper and will make you steadier, and you will just be able to survive more damage. To be honest, I never had a game with Wukong that went further than these items, but then I would just go for basic off-tank items, either get more damage with Infinity Edge or Bloodthirster, or you can get a Guardian Angel. In normal games where you just want to have fun and you sometimes get on a double lane because you don't have a jungler, you can just start with a Doran's Blade and go for the Mercurys Treads again, and then rush the Trinity Force. And before I get now into the clips, I will sum it up. So Wukong is a very fun champion who should be played as an off-tank. He can deal very much damage in the early game with his burst. I never had any problems with his mana, so I don't itemize for that. He is fun to play and can be very annoying if you play against him. Problem I have with him is that he costs 6300 IP. I think he should be 4800 to be honest. And now let's get into some clips. Okay, in this clip I played with my friend Burgenator. He plays Maokai a lot. And yeah, Lux gets me for root. And this causes Katarina to overextend and make a big mistake, because Maokai can easily get her with a stun. And my E and Q combo just finishes her. And here Lux fires the ultimate and yeah, nearly gets me, but I got lucky there. Yeah, here I try to run mid and help them a bit, but I run into Sion and cast my W and hope that he will use his Q on the clone, but he uses Ignite, which is also good. And then I just pump out tons of damage with quoted freak there. With my full combo, just exhaust him, use my ultimate, E and Q. In this clip you can see pretty well that Wukong's W can't only be used for defensive purposes to get away, but also offensive purposes. Like right now you just cast it at the beginning of the fight, and maybe Mordor will use his ultimate on you, on the clone I mean, or yeah, things like this. And here I just got red buff, and then I see Katarina and try to get her from behind, but unfortunately I run into the whole team, but it's no problem. I just use my W and Ghost, Sion stuns my clone, and I get away without problems. Sion tries to chase us here and runs into the turrets from Heimerdinger and gets all the damage from them. I go in with my ultimate there just to knock them up and get so they get more damage from Heimer's turrets. And here I get greedy, and that's what I get for it. I die. But fortunately, I think yes, we get Sion, but Ezreal gets hit by Brand's W and he goes down, but it's okay. Here I check Baron, because they've been missing for a long time, and I'm right. I catch them here, they're low HP, and I really don't know why they didn't fight me there. 4 of them were here, I was alone, but okay. And well, probably because, yeah, Brand was out of mana, and yeah, it's probably a better idea. They ran. And just clearing them up here, it's the end game. I'm pretty fed right now, and get some kill sting action here. And yeah, they surrender. That's how most games with Wukong end. Oh yeah, so that's for it for today. I hope I could help you a bit on how to play Wukong and which items to get. And yeah, I hope you'll tune in to my next commentary.